Welcome to my channel. Under the fading crimson sky, the prairie stretched endlessly, kissed by the dying light of the sun. The wind carried the cry of coyotes and the whisper of the dying day as a lone cowboy rode across the wild plains. His name was Colt, a man hardened by the dust and silence of the frontier, carrying only a rifle, a flask, and the kind of loneliness that settles deep into a man's bones. He had seen many things in the wild, but that evening, he saw something that stopped him cold. A young Apache girl cornered by a pack of snarling wolves near a dry creek bed. Her bow lay snapped beside her, and fear flashed in her eyes like lightning before a storm. Colt didn't think twice. He drew his rifle and fired into the air, the echo cracking through the valley. One of the wolves lunged, and Colt's second shot brought it down. The rest scattered, their yelps fading into the darkening plains. He dismounted, heart pounding, as the girl stared at him with a mix of defiance and disbelief. She clutched a small knife, still ready to fight. "You're safe now," Colt said softly, keeping his hands visible. The girl's breathing slowed. She was young, no more than 20, with long black hair tied with feathers and eyes sharp as flint. "Why you help me, cowboy?" she asked, her English rough but clear. "Didn't figure you needed a reason to help someone about to be eaten," he replied with a half smile. She studied him for a long moment, then nodded slightly. "I am Taya," she said finally. "My tribe, far from here. I hunt alone." Colt offered her water, which she took cautiously. For a while, neither spoke, the silence broken only by the rustle of the wind through the grass. When the cold began to settle in, he built a small fire, its glow painting her face in shades of gold and shadow. As night deepened, Taya began to speak, her voice low. She told him her village had been scattered by white traders who wanted their land, and she had fled into the wild to find what was left of her people. She had survived by hunting, but the wolves had been trailing her for days. Colt listened, feeling a strange pull toward her courage. "You've got spirit," he said quietly. "Most folks would have given up long ago." She looked at him sharply, then asked, "Why you ride alone, cowboy?" He looked into the fire for a moment before answering. "Ain't much left for me anywhere else," he said simply. "Lost my home, my people too. The trail's all I got." She nodded slowly, understanding in her gaze. Two souls from different worlds, both haunted by loss, bound for one brief night by the crackling fire and the endless sky. When dawn painted the horizon with pale gold, Taya stood, slinging her bow across her back. "You saved my life," she said firmly. "Apache do not forget debts." Colt smiled faintly. "No need for that, miss. Just glad you're safe." But she shook her head. Her eyes burned with quiet intensity. "No," she said, stepping closer, her voice fierce and sure. "You're mine now." Colt blinked, startled, as she laid her hand on his chest. "In my people's way, when a man saves a woman's life, his spirit is tied to hers. You belong to me now." For a long moment, he didn't know what to say. The words hung between them, wild and powerful like the land itself. Then he saw the truth in her eyes. It wasn't possession, but gratitude, loyalty, and something deeper he couldn't name. He chuckled softly. "Well, ma'am, guess I could get used to that." They rode together for a while after that, side by side through the rising sun. Two figures against the endless plain. Maybe their paths would part again, maybe not. But Colt felt something he hadn't in years, purpose. And as the wind carried Taya's quiet laughter through the morning air, he realized some bonds were stronger than blood or words. They were forged in danger, sealed by courage, and kept alive by the promise of something greater than survival. So if you believe in loyalty, courage, and the kind of bond that's written by fate itself, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and join our journey through more stories of the untamed West, where every rescue, every choice, and every heartbeat can change everything forever.